In the last section, we generated a new seasons project. I'm now going to change into that new directory, and then I'll start up my development server inside there with npm start. Okay, while that's starting up and I'm getting my browser automatically launched here, I'll see the default React application up here. There we go. I'm now going to also start up my code editor inside of that new seasons directory. All right, so here it is. I got my code editor right here inside the seasons project. Now we've got a decent amount of work to do here. The first thing that I want to do is pull in that semantic UI CSS library. We're going to depend upon semantic UI for taking care of those icons and a couple other pieces of styling that we're going to realize that we need along the way. So to hook up semantic UI, I'm going to search for semantic UI CDN in my browser again. I'll find a link here at cdnjs.com. And remember, we're going to scroll down just about to the bottom of this list and find the CSS file towards the bottom. Here we go, right here. So I got semantic min CSS. That's the only file we need out of here. So I'm going to copy that thing. I'll go back over to my code editor. I'll find that public folder, open up the index.html file, and then inside of here, anywhere inside the head tag, I'm going to put a new link with the rel of style sheet and an href of that link. So I'm going to paste it right in there like so. And then I'll make sure that I terminate that link tag. Now, technically, you don't actually need that /. We can just leave it like so. Okay, so now I'll save this file. And if I go back over to my browser and refresh the page, I should be able to open up that network tab and see that I am loading semantic min CSS. Okay, so that's definitely loaded up. Now that was definitely the easy part. Let's now flip back over to our editor. Inside my src directory, remember we get all these automatically generated files, and I don't really like to use these in general, so we're going to delete all of them. So I'll highlight all of them, and I'll delete, and move to trash. And then finally, I'll make a new file inside there called index.js, and this is where we're going to get started. All right, so I want to now flip over to a diagram that's going to help us think about the different components that we're going to need to make to build this application out. Now, at first glance, based upon what we have seen so far inside this mockup over here, I think that we might be able to get away with very few components inside this application. And we're going to eventually realize that's not quite the case, but for now, let's just kind of go with this. So I think that we need, in general, two different components. We probably need an app component that is going to have a bunch of code inside of it that's going to be in charge of determining the location of the user and the current month. That app component is then going to take the current season, be it winter or summer. We're just ignoring fall and spring for now. And it's going to pass it as a prop down to a second component that we'll call season display. The season display component right here is what is going to be in charge of showing some actual icons and text on the screen to tell the user, hey, it's winter or it's summer. So likewise, besides saying it is winter right here, the app could easily tell season display it is summer instead, and the season display would need to customize itself based upon that. Okay, so let's now flip back over to our editor. We're going to start to put together this app component, and we'll also start to scaffold out the season display. Inside of index.js, I'm going to import React from React, and I'll import React DOM from React-DOM. I'm then going to make my app component. I'm going to create it as a functional component for right now until we understand why we need to make a class-based component. Inside of here, I will return a div that says simply hi there for now. And then after that, I'll do my React DOM.render. I want to show an instance of my app component. And then as the second argument to this thing, I'm going to provide a reference to that div with ID of root inside of our index.html file. So I'll say document.query selector found root like so. All right, so that's it. Let's save this. We'll flip back over and just make sure that everything is working. Yep, I see the text hi there, as small as it might be. So everything looks good. All right, let's now put together a little bit of scaffolding for that second component, the season display. We're not going to be making use of this thing just yet. We're going to focus on some other topics first, but I just want to kind of scaffold this thing out or put together kind of a framework for the component so that we don't have to go back and work on it later when we're in the middle of putting this thing together. All right, so now inside the src folder, I'm going to make another new file called seasondisplay.js. At the top, we will import React. From React, I'll create another new functional component called seasonDisplay. And I'll have this return a div that simply says something like seasonDisplay. And then finally at the bottom, let's not forget to export this component. So I'll do an export default, not season display, like so. All right, so we got basically everything here prepped and ready to go. So let's take a quick pause right here. When we come back to the next section, we're going to start focusing on some of the biggest challenges that we're going to come up against, which is getting the user's physical location and determining the current month. So quick pause and I'll see you in just a minute.